Alrighty, g'day guys. Welcome back to Statchat Sports. You're here with Steve and Tazza for the weekly football podcast. Tazza, how you going, mate?
Good, mate. Very good. Yourself?
Yeah, good. I feel like we're going to have a bit to talk about this week. Not like last week. We had Premier League over the weekend, so we've got some things to talk about. And I think we'll start at the top of the table, as that's where the excitement is at the minute. But both sides, Arsenal and City, both dropping points over the weekend. From Arsenal's perspective, I suppose, because I mean, this is the way I would have felt if I'm an Arsenal supporter. Almost feels like an opportunity missed there, considering that City lost. They had obviously had the chance at the time to go 8 points clear, and not picking up the result against Everton. They were probably, a little bit frightened that the points would be, or the gap would be shaved down to 2 points. But Tottenham got the business done against City, which seems to be the case in recent times. And the gap stays at 5 points. But, given that we always say City don't lose too many games too often, my gut feeling, if I was an Arsenal supporter, it feels like this is an opportunity missed to further bridge the gap.
Yeah, it depends which way you want to look at it. It's an opportunity missed, but a bullet dodged at the same time. So, I mean, depends which side of the coin you want to look at it through. But, yeah, I mean, Arsenal, the new manager bounce, it's a thing. It's absolutely a thing. Sean Dyche comes into Everton and bang. They were bottom. They were 19th on goal, last on goal difference.
Yeah.
And, I mean, you see what a new manager does, can really change everything around. And I mean, 19th goes and beats first. It's pretty unreal. But yeah, Arsenal, they'll be ruined that one. I mean, that was the chance to really put some good distance between them and City. And I mean, you can never say never, but geez, 8 points at this part of the season, it's a fair chunk. And I mean, City haven't looked anything like themselves or themselves from the past few years. So 8 points would have been a huge mountain to climb for them.
Yeah, quick side note on Everton, actually, obviously that's their first win in 9 games, dating back to, I think it was they beat Crystal Palace 3-0. Since then, a handful of draws in a pool of losses, really. And yeah, the new manager bounce already. It looks like a bit of a culture change happening at Everton. I don't know if you've seen that he's banned like snoods and beanies and all this sorts of things in training. He says you train how you play. He's pretty much told them that they, even to the point that they train in shin pads and everything like that. He had him doing the beep test first session. He's not messing about, and he's got the team really to proper play for him, because although they only won 1-0, they ran themselves into the ground for those 3 points.
Yeah, that's what we talked about with Sean Dyche, obviously, looking at him coming to Everton, the possibilities. That you just need to go back to basics. And I mean, that's going back to basics, is just train how you play. Just forget the fancy crap. Just go bare bones, just get back down to basics, nail that, and look what happens. Stop stuffing around with the extra stuff, and yeah, you get results. Exactly what Everton need at this point is just to nail the basics, and they're doing it.
So where's City at the moment? Because it's another loss for them for this season so far. They find themselves 5 points behind it. They dominated possession. Tottenham went down to 10 men, but that was like, basically
I think it's 87th minute.
Yeah, so not much left really to do there. But they had the majority of the possession, City. Only 5 shots on target. But just kind of seemed to find the net. And something I've been seeing online a lot recently, coming from not just just like you and I, just fans of the game, but from pundits in the sport as well. And it's this thing that Erling Haaland has made Man City a worse side. And it's something that I just can't quite wrap my head around. I mean, I don't know how you can say that a player who scored, what is he at, 24, 25 league goals this season, and we've just passed the halfway line, how someone like that has made City a worse side. He's already beaten the Golden Boot winners from last year. So where does this come from?
I can see what they mean. It's not worse, but it's more one-dimensional. I think. I think they've got less tricks up their sleeve almost, because they almost, not that they put their eggs in one basket, in the Haaland basket, but he's their one wood. They'll go to him every time, and maybe Julian Alvarez isn't ready if Haaland can't step up. I mean, you look at Alvarez's World Cup, you'd think he's ready. He was awesome in it, but maybe he just isn't ready to take that next step with the club level at that where City is at. Because it just seems that once Haaland, or if Haaland's not banging them in, there isn't much else around. That's probably where I think that sort of angle comes from.
But is the issue up front there with, obviously, the goal scoring being, if it's not Haaland, it's nobody else? Because I mean, it sounds obvious, but if they're losing games, they're conceding goals. So it's more so of a leaky defense rather than a lack of goals being scored. Yeah.
Well, you're right. I mean, saying that, I mean, it was a 1-0 loss. I mean, it was tight. I mean, it's not like they got played off the park. It was a well taken goal that Spurs scored with the Højbjerg assist and the Kane little dink to send the keeper the wrong way. But it's not like they got played off the park. I think it wasn't a snatch and grab at all, because I mean, Spurs deserved it to a point. But yeah, maybe there are some defensive frailties, but I don't think it's a crisis. I think, I mean, they really seem to have changed their defensive, the preferred personnel at the moment. I mean, Diaz and Laporte sitting on the bench for this one was I don't know if it was I'm not sure if they were under any injury clouds or anything, but to go with Akanji and Ake at centre back, I was quite shocked.
Yeah, no, definitely. You would think that Diaz and Laporte would be the first choice there.
I would think.
Yeah, I mean, I just had a quick look at the ladder from last year. City scored 99 goals and conceded 26. So already they've conceded 21, I think it is, this season. So already they're 5 goals off of that. And what have they scored? 55 goals, I think it is, so far this season. So at pretty much just past the halfway point of the season, they've already scored more goals. They're on pace to beat that goal scoring, record from last year, let's say. So that to me points at the back line, and not something that should be being pointed fingers at Haaland, saying that this guy's the reason that City have declined this season, because I mean, he's on track to score 50 league goals this season himself. You know what I mean? Like, that's more than some teams score collectively in a season. So it just doesn't make sense. And I don't know if like I said, I don't know where these sort of whispers and stuff are coming from, the source of it, whether it's like City fans just looking for an excuse. So I can't see that being the case, but I suppose people are nitpicking and looking for a reason to try and find a reason as to why that City they're not declining, but just to why they've not been, the way that they've been over the last few years. And somewhere along the line, they landed on this.
I mean, we've got to compare this City team to the teams of the last 2 or 3 seasons, and that's been an unreal record that they've possessed over the last few years. The points that they've put up, the goals that they've scored, just the goal difference, just the way they've dominated games, it is something that hasn't really been seen for a sustained period of dominance that they've had. Hasn't been seen for a long time. It's the reason why Liverpool, any other period of time, would have had 3 or 4 titles. We've seen 2 teams absolutely dominating the PL for years now, and obviously it's a fall from grace for one of them, but just maybe regression back to the mean for City. I mean, it was a huge bar to maintain, a huge like a level to maintain, and we're always going to see this. But I think Arsenal have just obviously they've come out of nowhere and they've raised their bar. Maybe in a year where City have lowered theirs, and it was inevitable. It was going to happen at some point.
And I just noticed as well, actually, that I mean the game against Everton was technically Arsenal's game in hand, but having said that, they've still only played 20 league games, with City have still played the 21. So there is still that opportunity for the point gap to be 8 points. But then you can look at it and go, it could have been 11. I know I would have.
Yeah.
I know when anytime Liverpool were in this sort of position, if they were to lose a game and their direct competition lost the game as well, you'd be like, it would feel more of an opportunity missed rather than a dodged bullet. Going back to what you said at the start for me, because especially if it was a game against a winnable side, you know what I mean? You'd think, there was no reason why we should have lost that game. So therefore it's an opportunity missed.
Yeah, it's the mentality of the teams up the top. You want to be taking every chance you can, and you should be. If you're up at the top, you should be taking those chances. So yeah, I mean, yeah, you probably do look at it as an opportunity missed rather than a bullet dodged.
While we're kind of tiptoeing around the subjects of Liverpool, I don't want to spend too much time on this because we can have a knack of doing that at times. But it's something came up on social media for me today, and it's something that I saw and I couldn't avoid it, really. I mean, it's no secret they lost to Wolves 3-0 at the weekend. Shit show, embarrassment again. Good result for Wolves to get them out of a sticky situation as well, but it just further piles more pressure on Liverpool. But what I saw was that the 2023 ladder essentially, and that's Liverpool sitting rock bottom with just 1 point out of 4 games played, and with a goal difference of -8 is a bit of a shocker as well. But not only that, the goal scorers that Liverpool have had since obviously returning from the World Cup, we've got one from Oxlade-Chamberlain, who is out the door relatively soon, I would imagine. One from I'm going to butcher the kid's name, but it's the young fella, Stefan Bajcetic. I should know that.
Bajcetic, I think. Bajcetic.
Something like that. Yeah. As a Liverpool fan, I should know that, but he's got one himself. Mo Salah has just one. Van Dijk has just one, and he's injured. But the guy up the top doesn't even play for Liverpool, and it's Leicester City's centre-back who scored 2 own goals. And that is not in good rating.
No, it doesn't matter if you're that's bottom of the table form. That's it. That's exactly what it is. So it's no surprise to look at that and then see post World Cup that they're on the bottom of the ladder. They don't look like scoring a goal right now. It's the most. I mean, go back to Rodgers. They would score goals for fun, but it'd also leak them.
Yeah.
But I mean, this is the poorest team we've seen. It's Hodgson. It's not even Rodgers. Rodgers at least was entertaining. This is the poorest team we've seen in a long time. And given obviously we've talked so much about the lack of investment in midfield, but there's plenty of attacking talent there. And looking at the highlights, I mean, Nunes wasn't short of opportunities. And I saw it. What's that?
He never is in any particular game, isn't he? He always picks up
exactly
3 or 4 chances.
But, it's genuinely it's stage fright. I did say another pundit was another pundit. I'm not a pundit. I did say a quote, and it was true. He's genuinely got a huge, awful case of stage fright. He cannot finish right now. He does everything but put the ball in the back of the net, and it's incredibly frustrating because, I mean, we're just leaking points at the moment. We're not getting any. It's incredible, and I'm pretty sure now we're as close to relegation as we are to top 4.
Yeah, you're right.
So well and truly mid-table. It's not even top four, pushing top four. It's mid-table mediocrity, and it's trending down.
Mm. Yeah, that's
Given
the
the
scary
record,
thing.
they don't even look like improving.
And their next
we've
5
just
games
missed.
is makes it look like it's only going to get worse.
Yeah. Well, you look at the last 3 teams. I mean, credit to Brentford. They've done pretty well. And Brighton. I mean, they're on the way up. But I mean, Wolves, they're getting battered 3-0 by Wolves. It's just, yeah. I mean, we can go on for hours about it, but yeah, given the amount of money that was spent on this attack, it's unbelievable that we're getting absolutely nothing from it.
While we're on the topic, and I think it's a good time to speak about this, given the current situation of the team. If you were in charge of the team, quick little round of keep or sell or bench. Keep, sell, or bench with the current Liverpool squad. Kick it off, obviously, with goalkeepers. Alisson.
Keep.
The no-brainer. Adrian.
Yeah. Sell.
Kelleher.
Bench.
I would agree there. Joe Gomez.
Yeah. Sell. On your bike. On your bike. The defending in that Wolves game. That second goal, the hit clearance, that attempted clearance, he put it straight on the chest of a Wolves bloke who should have buried it. And I mean, it was spat out to Dawson, who duly did bury it, but yeah.
No,
Awful.
I would have to agree, to be honest. It almost feels like we owe him something. That's why he's sticking around. But
I think
he's in his mid-20s now. He's not good enough.
No, and I think the Liverpool hierarchy think he can get back to some of that form that him and Van Dijk experienced, where they were just the ultimate centre-back duo. But he's not that anymore, and which is strange to say about a guy who's in his 20s. It's not like he's on the wrong side of 30. He should be better. But yeah, I don't know if it's a mentality thing right now. The mentality monsters have no mentality right now. That's exactly where it is. They're just devoid of any strength, mental strength.
Yeah. All right, we'll keep going quickly. Van Dijk, that's going to be a keep, obviously, surely.
Keep.
Konate.
Keep.
Simicast.
Bench. I think
Calvin Ramsey.
You're keeping him.
He hasn't had the opportunity yet.
Exactly.
Robertson.
Keep.
Matip.
I'd sell. I think he's on the decline.
The duo that they might need to bring back to secure Champions League football again, Reece Williams and Nat Phillips.
Look, I'd probably keep Nat Phillips just because I don't feel he hasn't had the chance. Every time he wants to go out on loan, they keep him because there's an injury crisis, and they never play him. I mean, after the showing on the other day against Wolves, he should have started. Reece Williams, so
okay. Trent,
just put him in midfield. Give him a go.
We'll add a fourth tier to that one. Add a position change to it.
Position change. There you go.
The troublesome midfield, Fabinho.
Bench, and just hope he comes good. I mean, we've seen what he can be.
Yeah. Thiago.
Keep, but he just doesn't fit the system. Great player, but doesn't fit the system.
Yeah. James Milner.
You're not going to get anything for him, so probably bench him. But he can go. He's been a great servant, but he can go.
Yeah, for sure. Great leader. He's just not quite got enough to offer anymore.
He's 37. I mean, most blokes don't play, and most blokes have retired 2 or 3 years ago. So
yeah,
it's just that kind of time for him.
Naby Keita.
I'm really on the fence with this one. I'll probably bench him.
Wow. Okay.
I don't know.
I thought that might have been the quickest sell here.
I think he's been half decent lately. He's redeemed himself somewhat. He's not by no means inspirational, but redeeming himself.
Okay. No, fair shout. Jordan Henderson.
Oh, this is a tough one. Uh, bench with a leaning towards sell. There's not many not many players I want to keep in this squad. It's just awful.
It needs a full revamp at the moment.
Yeah. Yeah, so.
Curtis Jones.
So.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he should have been gone.
We're not going to have 11 here.
Harvey Elliott.
Keep.
I'm not even going to suggest Arta because he's gone anyway. He's on loan.
Yeah.
Roberto Firmino.
Keep. Absolutely keep. I think they're missing a lot of what he can bring.
Is there? Let me do this quickly. Is there anyone in the forwards that you would sell or bench? Firmino, Salah, Gakpo, Jota, Luis Diaz, Darwin Nunez, and Fabio Carvalho.
Bench or sell Carvalho.
Okay.
I think he's just a championship kind of caliber. I mean, he's young. He's got time to improve. Who's Nunez keep, Diaz keep, Jota keep. There was one in there I was a bit...
Gakpo?
No, keep.
Salah?
There was another... Okay. Hear me out on this, but
okay.
If there's a fair fee involved,
sell. Okay.
If there's a fair fee involved, if they can recoup some of the cash, because clearly FSG aren't going to spend, they sell to buy. Yeah, I would. He's absolutely magic, but we've seen his best years, and so if someone would take him for 70 or 80 mil, sell
and put that into a midfielder or something. You think there's enough? I mean, I agree with you. I think there's enough up front between a fully fit, Gakpo, Nunez, Diaz, and Jota. I think there's enough there to, to put together a forward that can score, a front line that can score, plenty of goals a season between them. But yeah, there's obviously no doubt that the midfield needs work. And, if FSG are around, if FSG are around in the, at the end of the season, and then, it's their investment that's going to, result in new signings, and not a new owner in that sense, then perhaps it is that time. Yeah.
I mean, Bellingham has to happen. That's a non-negotiable. They've put all their eggs in the Bellingham basket. It has to happen. Otherwise, Fernandes is gone. So what is there?
And it's actually, I saw something like because of that Fernandes transfer, being whatever it was, 120 million or something like that. It's basically it's not great news for Liverpool, because basically if Dortmund would look to that transfer and say, Benfica can get 120 million for Enzo Fernandez, then they anywhere between, the region of 150, 180, I think they would be thinking realistically they could get that for Bellingham.
It's almost 150 starting. I think that's where they, not start, but that's their minimum.
Yeah,
that's their benchmark, because he's not twice the player Fernandes. He's a great player, but Bellingham's got more runs on the board, in my opinion. So, I mean, yeah, Enzo did star at a World Cup, but that was a small tournament on a big stage. But Bellingham's done more over a longer length of time. So
100%.
He's got to be minimum 150, and Liverpool, that transfer alone has probably cost them another 20 or 30 on what they thought they could get Bellingham for. Just touching back on Spurs after their win against Man City, a certain Harry Kane, who was the lone goal scorer in that game, has now surpassed Jimmy Greaves for the top scorer at Tottenham, 267 goals. It's a fair effort. I mean, the trophies he hasn't got yet, and he probably won't get unless he leaves Tottenham. But I mean, no matter what happens with him now, I personally think, he's obviously going to go down in Spurs folklore. He will never be forgotten there. But do you think on the back of this, maybe he's got that record sort of in his hands? Does he leave? Is this where he finally splits away and properly forces the move to go and chase the trophies.
Well, how old is he? Is he probably late 20s, if maybe 30?
I think he'd be 30 by now.
Yeah, I thought he would have been as well. So, I mean, look, he's still got probably a good 3 or 4 years at the top.
He's 29.
29. Yeah, okay. So
So he's in his prime.
Yeah, there's still a good, 5, maybe plus more years there at the top. I mean, if he has ambitions to win a trophy, which you would think he would, he has to leave. That's just a non-negotiable at this stage. Where he goes, who knows now? There was obviously big interest from City a few years ago, but I can't see that happening now that they've obviously got Haaland. Man United's been thrown around for a few years as well. Is he the Ten Hag type of player? I don't know. I suppose it comes down to, if he moves abroad, you can throw away the Premier League goal scoring record, which I have no doubt that if he stays in the Premier League, he'll hit. He's 60 away from Alan Shearer. If he stays in the Premier League, be it with Tottenham or somebody else, he's going to get that at a canter, I think anyway. So, it comes down to who's looking for a striker. You know what I mean? Which top teams are looking for a striker? Obviously he's not going to go anywhere near Arsenal. Obviously, I've just mentioned we spoke about City and potentially United. He's not really the Liverpool player, and they don't need any more forwards, really, to be frank. And then you've got him staying at Tottenham, or Chelsea. I mean, Chelsea, I wouldn't be surprised to see it happen. Todd Bowley just goes, here you go, have 200 million, and we'll get him on board. I could potentially see him fitting into their system, relatively well. But apart from that, his options are pretty limited, in my opinion.
Yeah, I can't see him going abroad. The one team I could probably see him going to is United. I think he would fit fairly well over there. And to me, I think he'd want to chase that Premier League as much as you want the trophies and the accolades. I can't see him going to a Madrid or a Barcelona or a Bayern Munich, maybe. Doesn't sound like the most awful move for him, but I just can't see that being as attractive as another top English team. Which I think, like, United have kind of been on the look for a striker. Whether he's their blueprint, I'm not sure. But yeah, I could see him moving. Yeah.
Well, you look at the players the other players in that top 10 all-time goal scoring list. Obviously, Alan Shearer, Wayne Rooney, multiple Premier League titles between them two. Andy Cole, Sergio Aguero, Frank Lampard, Thierry Henry, Robbie Fowler, Jermaine Defoe, and Michael Owen. Besides Defoe, I can't remember off the top of my head, how many trophies he's won. But the rest of them, they all have, a Champions League or a Premier League or something along those lines under their belt. There's titles to go with it, which is why they're always in the discussion for the greatest goal scorers that the league has seen. I mean, obviously everyone still puts Harry Kane in that spot, but he just doesn't have those titles to go along with it. So, yeah, if he has the ambitions, then he needs to chase it, and he needs to do it relatively soon.
Yeah, I think the time's now for him.
Alrighty, Tazza, it's time for our game of what are we calling this? We're just calling it Who Are Ya?
Who Are Ya? I think, yeah.
Yeah, we'll go with that. It's the same. It's the same as what it's called online, so we'll go with that. It's my turn to guess today. Tazza's got his player picked. As always, play along at home. Feel free. Don't cheat. Leave your answers in the comments and see how many guesses it takes you to get it right. We ready to kick off here?
Absolutely. When you're ready.
I'm going to start off relatively simple and go Kevin De Bruyne.
Okay. So you've got the right league.
Okay.
He's in the Premier League. No,
it's a good start.
I think. Okay, what do we got? Okay, so am I giving you age indications? Like as to
Yeah,
like
so
higher or lower?
yeah, just higher or lower. Yeah.
Okay. So lower. Age is lower.
Okay. I don't even know how old he is.
I'm pretty sure that's. Oh, so De Bruyne is 31.
Okay. Shit, I didn't realize he was that old. Okay.
So yeah, wrong position, wrong number as well.
Wrong nation.
Wrong nation too.
Wrong nation.
So all you've got is a Premier League.
Okay. Okay, that's all right. One off the start is okay.
It's a good start. Yeah.
And obviously, I know he's not a midfielder, so that eliminates that. Age doesn't help though because he is quite old. Okay, let's go. Let's go with an attacker, maybe. Let's go Marcus Rashford.
So he's older than Rashford. Rashford's 25. So you're between 25 and 31.
Okay.
He's not a forward.
Okay.
Does not play for Manchester United. What's this number? I'm pretty sure it won't be the same number. That's pretty well irrelevant. He's not English, no.
Okay. Okay. Let's go Andy Robertson.
So he is a defender.
Okay. Yep.
He doesn't play for
goalkeepers
Liverpool.
are included in the defenders category as well. Yeah.
Yeah. No, that's fine. He's a defender.
Mm-hmm.
He is not Scottish.
Mm-hmm.
He doesn't play for Liverpool.
Okay.
And he is younger than 28. So he's between 25 and 28.
So I'm only working on the Premier League and a defender. I mean, that doesn't really help at the moment.
It's hard when you get you're sort of nailed in, but you're not.
Yeah. No City, no United,
no Liverpool.
I mean, it might not even be from a top 6 team. That's the thing.
Maybe you never know. I love being in this position. It's so much better.
Shit, this is hard.
I'll throw you a bone. It's not the most well known of nations that he's from. It's a bit of an outlier.
I feel like I've got to try and like nail down the club, but that's just so hard to do because there's obviously so many clubs left still. This is a guess purely to try and get the nation and potentially the club. Thiago Silva.
No. Sorry, not from Chelsea.
Okay.
Not from Brazil.
Okay. Let's go with Zinchenko.
He's got it.
Yeah.
He's got it. Alexander Zinchenko.
What made him come straight to you?
I don't know. I have no idea. I don't know. I just thought it was a curveball, but it wasn't too out there. I mean, if I'd gone it was in the Premier League. I mean, you throw a little curveball, but it's in the Premier League. You're bound to get it. Yeah.
Oh, I'll take that that was 5, right?
5. Yeah.
I think you got yours in 5 as well, right?
Yep. Yeah.
Oh, it's all tied up, one apiece. Okay.
Very good.
Very good. All right. Well, that's all said and done. We'll wrap it up there. Like I said, leave your guesses in the comments below. Let us know if you got Zinchenko before I did. But yeah, that's going to wrap us up. Thanks for joining us. If you are new, please subscribe if you haven't already. And if you like the content, leave a like, and we'll see you all next week. Cheers.